The regression-adjusted mean hourly wage for workers was nearly 18% higher for a disabled worker with union representation than for a disabled worker without union representation. My next update today is about Disability Employment Awareness Month. I wanted to make folks aware that it is Disability Employment Awareness Month, which is a good time to remind folks that there is a union advantage for workers with disabilities. Better pay, better benefits. And I wanted to point to some research from CEPR. They put out the union advantage for workers with disabilities, higher pay, more benefits. And this report came out back in August of this year. And just some of the key findings. Between 2016 and 2023, the regression-adjusted mean hourly wage for a disabled worker represented by a union was $31.99. This was substantially higher than the wage for a non-union worker with a disability, $27.18, but still lower than the wage for a non-union worker without a disability. Union wage premiums persisted across types of difficulty among disabled workers. Even after adjusting for other characteristics, disabled union workers were much more likely than disabled non-union workers to have employer-sponsored health insurance, about 70% versus about 49%, and more likely to have retirement benefits, almost 47% versus 30%. The regression-adjusted mean hourly wage for workers of prime working age, ages 25 to 54, was nearly 18% higher for a disabled worker with union representation than for a disabled worker without union representation. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the union wage bump was insufficient to eliminate the disability pay gap for this age group. But, again, a significant wage advantage for workers with disabilities who are in unions, alongside the employer-sponsored health insurance and retirement benefits. Unions boosted wages for workers with disabilities across racial and ethnic groups. More than any other racial or ethnic group, Hispanic workers with disabilities saw a substantial boost in both wages and benefit coverage relative to their non-union counterparts.
Hey, 5 seconds, just wanted to say that this is only possible because of our donors. If you want to see more of this, then consider donating yourself at tvlr.fm/donate.
So there are a lot of folks who are dealing with disabilities across our state, across our community. Many of them are in the workforce. Many of them would like to be in the workforce. Some cannot be in the workforce. Whatever their situation, anybody who wants to work, it's my opinion, they should be able to. And so it's important that employers provide the kind of accommodations so that folks can thrive in the workforce. And it's important that workers with disabilities see the benefits of unions and see how unions can be there to provide them better benefits and better wages. There's a clear advantage, a clear difference. But I also want to point out that by providing representation on the job, unions can help prevent disability discrimination. Right? If you're in a union, you actually have folks to back you up. You are coming together with your coworkers to form an organization. Often this organization is going to have resources, staff, legal support, right? So if you are a worker with a disability and you deal with some sort of discrimination in the workplace, you're much more likely to be able to deal with that and find resolution and redress to that if you have a union to support you. If you're in a non-union workplace, filing a complaint with the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, the EEOC, or trying to exercise your rights under the Americans with Disabilities Act can be very difficult in an at-will employment, hostile work environment, non-union work environment. So unionizing is very, very important for justice for workers with disabilities. So I would encourage anyone listening, if you or someone you know, a loved one, is dealing with a disability, know that coming together in unions is an important way to make your life better, and your lives, the coworkers' lives, the community's lives, everyone's lives better when you come together and unite around your common interest and when you have each other's back. Ultimately, unions are about solidarity. An injury to one is an injury to all. And so we have to stand up for our siblings who are dealing with disabilities. And, just one last reflection on that is that being someone with a disability is something that can happen at any given time, right? We are in the pandemic era. We've seen people dealing with long COVID. We know the way people can experience health crises at any age, right? But particularly as we age, right? So this one group of folks that are typically marginalized, that any of us, no matter your race, your religion, where you were born, your gender, right? We can all end up in that group. And there's a good chance you will eventually, right? So it's so important that we stand up for one another. We stand up for workers who are dealing with disabilities. So I wanted to just highlight that because it is Disability Employment Awareness Month. Wanted to make sure folks were aware of the clear union advantage for workers with disabilities.
You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.